Well, anyway, as I was saying, there's, one of my favorite pastimes is leopards eating my face Reddit page, but I saw this on the leopards eating my face page. It's a news report about Trump voters fired, and I just want to talk about this lady for a second. And they're seeing the light. They only see the light when it affects them because they're very selfish. Because it takes maturity to function in a free democratic society, and they have never, for whatever reason, matured out of whatever that stage is in infant childhood development, where you understand that you're not the center of the universe. When does that? I think that is around 6 months or a year. But Republicans never get there somehow. They're emotionally stunted. But here's this lady. There's a news story about her.
Jennifer Piggott voted for Trump in the November election. Then in February, she was fired from her civil service job.
Absolutely. I feel a little bit betrayed.
She was among more than 125 people dismissed last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
There's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
No kings, no tyrants.
To our lives. Did you hear that? That's what really irritated me too. Nobody understood the devastation that having this administration would do to our lives. You don't give a shit if it was somebody else's life. You just wanted the devastation to fall on somebody else. Oh, okay. E pluribus unum. Pledge your life, fortune, and sacred honor to each other. How hard is that to understand? The general welfare. That means not just you, lady. They can't get it, though. They're like, oh, well, drink your tears. Sucks to be you.
No tyrants.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories. But the betrayal felt by Piggott, a church-going conservative and 3-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in Republican strongholds like Parkersburg, where the government-slashing efforts of Trump and Doge are beginning to hit home.
Elon Musk has basically taken over our government.
Yep.
And has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be.
A handful of Republican voters who lost their federal jobs joined Democrats at a recent anti-Doge protest near the Bureau of Fiscal Service offices in Parkersburg. But the federal job losses in the state could soon extend beyond the BFS building, says West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins.
West Virginia is at the very top of the states in terms of the federal workforce as a share of total workforce in the state. So if the federal layoffs happen, if they hit West Virginia, we stand to suffer a disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy.
But in Reuters interviews with 36 workers, business owners, and politicians in Parkersburg, nearly all said that Trump's focus on cutting government spending was a worthy goal. And Reuters Ipsos polling shows Americans' attitude toward Trump are so far essentially unchanged since he began firing federal workers in February. As of this week, his approval rating was holding steady at 44%.
Such an approval
costs
rating.
And waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture.
Listen to this. See, this is what fascinated me, too. Because they don't want to completely get or absorb for whatever that level of denial is. They don't want to completely make themselves, or I guess accept the fact that they're idiots. You know, oh, I believe in this and that. Yeah, no, nobody is against doing away with waste, fraud, and abuse, for fuck's sake. That's why we have inspectors general that Trump fired. Yeah, it happens sometimes because human beings are flawed. But that's why we have other organizations and departments dedicated to, and it's not the fake Department of Government Efficiency. They find the fraud in Medicaid and Medicare, somebody scamming the system. I watch American Greed. It's half their stories. Or FBI agents or IRS agents uncovering waste, fraud, and abuse in the system and arresting the motherfuckers for doing it and stopping it and clawing back what was done and trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. But it will happen because people suck. And they're selfish like you, lady. And they're always looking for an angle. Always looking for more and more and more. We see the richest parasite on earth. He still wants more. Oh, and I don't want to hear Andrew Ross. I had to get the thing off his face. Andrew Ross Sarkin or any other corporate media pundit give cover to Musk, make excuses for him. Oh, he doesn't care about money. He just wants to go to Mars. That's what he said the other day. He don't care about money. I would say that too if I was the richest person on earth, but I would take my money and put it to good uses. Like ending homelessness, ending hunger, making sure nobody needlessly dies without health care. I'd maybe if I had a job in the fake government Department of Government Efficiency, I would make sure that the government was so efficient. We had so many people working for the government in the IRS, in the Department of Education, in every other damn department, FEMA, the FDA, in our Parks Department, that when you call the IRS, they pick up on the first ring. That's how efficient I would make it. There's nothing efficient by malfunction, by stress and overstress and making people nuts with you're fired, you're not fired, you're hired, you're gone, you suck, excuse me, you got to tell me why you're here, 5 things you've did. Fuck you. Elon Musk. What 5 things have you done, you parasite? You made an excuse for Hitler. You gave a Nazi salute. You told some more lies. You danced around like a baboon. You used your kid that you named a shameful, unpronounceable, unspellable goddamn joke on you. You use him as a prop. Is that what you did? That's how I would make the government efficient, wouldn't you? You call the IRS, they pick up. You call the FDA, they pick up on the first ring. You get somebody, they say, yes, can I help you? That's how a shining city on a hill works. Everything, the meat is inspected and the food is great and fresh and, that's how we work here. That's how great America is. Everybody has a job. Everybody is taking care of each other. Oh, but, Republicans say, well, that's a nanny state. No, that's a state that works. What they got is a big, selfish prick, drunken-ass daddy who doesn't give a shit about his family. That slaps the food off the family's table, that takes the family's check and goes and spends it at the bar. That's what they got. goes and spends it on whores, right? No offense to sex workers, but... And, I mean, this is what they've done to us. They have divided us, and they have conquered us. And it's time to get a grip, get a clue. I can only talk to, you know, however many people, a handful now. Whatever.
Hiring federal workers in February. As of this week, his approval rating was holding steady at 44%.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, you know, we were excited about that because it is true. But
is it true? Is it? Is it true? Or is that what you've been told for generations, for years, on the filthy right-wing fascist propaganda outlets? Waste, fraud, and abuse. Government sucks. Government sucks. Government gotta drown it, gotta kick it in the balls. 9 most terrifying words. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And not one Democrat would stand up and say, when they say they hate the government, what they mean is they hate democracy. When they want to shrink government and make it small, they want to make democracy small.